But now I feel like her memory is broken here. What's happening? This anime is so confusing. Because now it's like her part. What? He's the murderer this time? I guess? But who's the protagonist then? It's unreliable narrative. Who's the protagonist then? Who's the character? Because yeah, now he's the traitor, but who's the protagonist? His anime is all over the place. I don't know what's happening anymore. Man, this anime is crazy. But I love how she appears. Now it feels very horror with someone has a shotgun. Someone has a shotgun. Now it feels very, very horror anime, you know, like someone appears with a shotgun, is like, I got you, bro, you know, kills the zombie with like a massive shotgun shot, yeah. Now it feels very horror anime. Someone needs to come in there with a shotgun and be like, bam, 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 baby, I got you. What a goddamn episode. There was so much happening. Anyway, this is the best anime season. This is the best anime this season. There's so much things happening. This is the best anime. It is the best anime. There's just so much happening. First we have her being introduced, you know, to the dead girl. Okay, who is she? And we kind of learn that she's in love with him, right? We get the whole like, oh, I'm in love with you, which is not surprising though. But let's review it. It's gonna be a long video, guys. Jesus Christ! Oh my God. But yeah, so we get introduced, right? She of course loves him. That's the primary thing here, right? And like as I mentioned, not surprising. It's clearly Nature, right? Me also love. They're gonna have a sister. They're both in love with the main character, right? So that's been very, very established. But yeah, it's constantly gonna be. I feel this to them. But he again. I keep saying it, but I do feel that he is mainly in love with her back, right? This is his love interest right there. And I think she's gonna be alive somehow in the end. They can probably beat this game and save her, right? But anyway, so. She definitely was a very likable girl. You know, I like Genki girls. You know, I'm a sucker for, you know, tomboys to Genki girl. So clearly up in my wheelhouse, you know, blonde, pink-haired girl. You know, yeah, with Genkiness. But I like it. You know, she's pouting. She was a really fun. So it was great, you know, seeing her. Yeah, but I think this is a very needed episode. This is a very needed episode, right? Because I mean, even if you ignore what happened afterwards, we needed, right? Eventually, at least, but somewhat we need to know how she is, right? We need to understand how, you know, the dead girl, the victim is, whatever. I mean, she's the initiator, right? She gets killed, and then he returns, so, I mean, we kind of know, we need to know how she was, right? And, okay, she's very Genki, she's very, you know, salty, like, man, you don't love me anymore, yeah, she's very, like, you know, argumentative and so on, right? But, you know, very extrovert, so on. We need to know how she's as a person, right? Because she's the first victim and all this stuff, so... I think the first 10 minutes were, she's a very, you know, enjoyable best girl and all that stuff, but also good. You kind of really, it's very well written to like quickly characterize her as how she is, right? So that's great, and also give us the mystery because she doesn't seem to know what's happening at all. She's like, "Well, I'm not dead. I love you. I'm alive and I love you, boy." You know, yeah. She just doesn't seem to know what's happening at all. But. So that was great, and obviously the mad girl, you know, she's like, "Hey, Dorby." She has the best news. People this stupid mad girl out with this stupid mask on her, and he's like, "What?" So my God, but this episode was so good. This is another 10 episode because yeah, the first 10 minutes are really good characterization of her, given a little bit of hints of mystery, and then it goes into this, you know, who's the traitor, who's the murderer. Oh, he's the main character is the murderer this time. Of course, he got to the place that we saw, but. Whew, I'm exhausted. Let's talk about. Then he's the murderer. I mean, this anime is freaking brilliant. Seriously. I mean, I will admit that. Of course, we expected all that he's going to be replaced eventually. We do expect one arc when the main character is the actual murderer. As I mentioned, obviously, this anime is similar to When They Cry, right? Which I of course reviewed last year and so on. And same thing there, right? You know, who's going to be the. Sometimes it's Kenichi, right? Sometimes yeah, who's Rihanna and so on. Yeah, it's someone else, right? Who's gonna get the baseball bat this week? So we kind of expect it to be like, yeah, he's gonna be the murderer. But still, I think it was interesting because it's just sort of like who is the traitor now, what was true, and then we get to explain when he was replaced, I guess, and so on, right? So really kind of ends there with him, I guess, killing them. And as we saw later on with, you know, the first Shadow clone, right, Neo's clone, that they also have physical strength beyond normal human strength. So he's him grabbing her there, he can probably break her arms or whatever. But I guess it's gonna kill them there, that's probably what's gonna happen. But it's just a great twisting anime, right? You never know who's gonna betray them. it's a great concept. That being said, I will admit that I really love this anime, but I will admit that, yeah, like the whole, body snatcher concept is a classic horror concept, right? Where aliens or whatever can replace you, and anyone could be a traitor. Anyone could be, who could be a human. It might be an alien, might be this thing, right? So it is a very classic premise, right? That anyone can, at any moment can be replaced. Not at any moment, but like if you don't see them for 10 minutes, they might have been replaced, right? If they're not seen for like 5 minutes, maybe someone replaced them. It certainly is that kind of anime. But it makes it so good. It makes it so goddamn good, right? But I loved this scene. It was very dramatic. And also, before I forget here, it also opens a lot of netto rare relationship drama, right? We see that he likes, just before he arrives, right? We see like, another confession scene. So there's of course a lot of that love story thing there. And maybe eventually, depending on different time loops, like his confession of course got turned down. She's like, actually I'm in love with this guy. But maybe that's gonna go better, right? I could see that also the romance confessions or whatever also might play out differently, right? Of course. So maybe they do get together in another time loop, right? Maybe it's gonna end up with everyone being happy. I wouldn't mind that. I'm not like a sucker for anything. Some people complain, about One Piece fake of that, right? People don't die in One Piece or whatever, and certainly and other stuff, other most shown animes. But I think it's very different with the horror animes, because if you have a horror time loop anime, I'm not against everyone, surviving and being happy together, getting married and kids in the end, right? Because it's a horror anime, again, with time magic. So I am fine with that. I'm also fine with if they have to replace, if someone has to die, right? But anyway, for me, yeah, I don't mind a happy ending in this kind of setting. I really don't. But at the same time, it would be interesting if they have to maybe sacrifice one person to save the blah, blah, so on. But, so that for me doesn't matter. What matters for me is how to get there, right? The end result of everyone surviving or one person surviving or whatever, that is, for me, isn't so relevant. It's more like how do we get the path to get there, right? So I just want to say again that I would be completely happy if everyone is, romantically involved and get kids or whatever. Yeah, the perfect time loop. The end time loop, everyone is also surviving and, everyone survives and everyone gets laid or whatever. Boob loop, because even shotgun. Now, but I like to see for many reasons. First of all, she wasn't very focused in this time loop, right? Now she's coming with a shotgun and bam, kills her in the face. Like, you killed me last time, no bitch. Right? Get some revenge there, yeah. She got killed the other time loop, now she shoots her in the head, so like, you killed me, I killed you. We're even, right? So that's great, a little revenge there. But I just love that he immediately, it's like I am, like, I remember you. You're the girl with the boobs that I fell into. What else we should remember is like, yeah, you're the boob loop girl. But as I keep saying, she clearly knows a lot of stuff, right? With recording and so on. So hopefully she gonna, probably in this episode, explain a little bit, what she knows, right? Kind of, fill in a little bit, like, to him, and at least for us, the viewer, we can maybe learn some stuff and so on. They're probably gonna, of course, fail. I mean, his arms and legs are broken, right? The main character, of course, lost, like, 2 limbs at least. So if they keep playing this time loop, even now with a shotgun, that's a bad time loop for him, because he's paralyzed. So in that sense, he probably will die, right? So they can, like, replay with his legs back and so on. But she can probably give some information here, right? Because she clearly knows a lot. But it's a cool scene, very classic horror scene. I saw it the shotgun, very horror. And again, I want to just iterate that it's interesting that the shadows were fighting, right? They weren't like really they disagree. They weren't like, I hate you, but they're kind of like, I don't want to do your plan. Yeah, so they were interesting how they actually didn't agree on the strategy for a moment there. And so that could be interesting later, right? Maybe they can betray each other. Maybe they have different agendas, right? They feel that they're kind of working together, generally speaking, but maybe some of the shadows are like, no, I don't want to be with them, or I want to have my own plan. I want to rule the planet or whatever. Yeah, maybe so much more the plan, right? Completely unrelated to each other. But interesting too here. And also, of course, this shows you that if you kill the first shadow, but if you kill this shadow, the other shadow up, the other clone, he's fine, right? So they're also separate from each other. Because you just killed her with the headshot, right? With the shotgun. And the other shadow is fine. So even if she created the shadow, or at least gave him powers or whatever, however that works, that doesn't seem to matter. It isn't like, I don't know, Supernatural, the vampire lord. You kill the vampire, although the vampire dies, because it's like the king of the vampire in this section. If that one dies, everyone is free or whatever. That's not here. Unless there is another shadow. Perhaps there is the OG. Of course, there might be another shadow, I guess. That is the true mother brain shadow thing, I guess that's possible. But you know what I mean? Like, at this stage, I kind of expect that they're kind of individually, right? Shadows are kind of like doing their own stuff, right? So you have to kill them all, I suppose. Maybe you can remove whatever is creating their powers, though. But they might have a power source, I guess, still how though. But yeah, but killing this person doesn't matter, I guess. But anyway, yeah, long episodes. Be a long review. This episode, man, it's happy. Anyway, so you guys can have a great day. Check out Demon Commandments.